something easy to start with. We've got plenty of hard things to get into here as we go along. Oh, take some deep breaths, fill your lungs. Let's just take this to a really easy little fingertips reaching on the back, one side on top and then the other on top. I've already used up all my jokes about how you made it to class even though it's cold and snowy out. So I have to think of new material for the whole rest of the winter because I just made that joke too many times on Wednesday already. Okay, that's enough of that. Ooh. Let's go ahead and set your feet right under your hips. We're going to do some wide stance stuff today. So I just want to get us pre-warmed up for that. Hands on the hips. We're going to try to stay nice and tight through the center of the body so that we're not moving our pelvis around relative to the low back. And we're going to just do some little circles here of the hips over the ankles. So it's like you're tracing a small circle that's floating centered on sort of your heels. This whole time you're stretching up tall through the top of the head. Keeping your core engaged will sort of help you do the movement right at the hip, as opposed to sort of, if you let things go through the spine, you can do like a belly dancer circle. That's not quite what we're going for. If that ends up what you're doing and that feels right, probably not the worst thing. Let's go ahead, switch sides, or switch directions, I mean. Anti-clockwise. I've never been to Great Britain, but I think it's fun to say anti-clockwise on occasion. This is less awkward virtually because you're not staring across a circle at somebody else. You're just watching me awkwardly do this by myself. All right, stretch up tall. Let's stop that. Let's take our feet out nice and wide. And we're going to just set the hips back slightly, press the knees out slightly. So we're in a nice ready stance wide. And we're just going to slide side to side. We're getting our chest open towards the floor just a little bit so we're not straight up through the back. So hips are back. Weight should feel like it's sort of in the heels a little bit. And then as you get a little bit deeper on this, you might have to scoot your feet out a little bit. If you're kind of narrow in your stance on this, it might feel like you're sort of starting to fall over that foot and that knee might get a little unstable. Just gently getting a little bit lower as you go here. Nice. Let's just pause on one side, take a nice deep breath. Let's come all the way up to the top. Squeeze things, stretch up tall, then hips go back, knees go out again. I'll just slide over to the other side, kind of sink in over there, take a nice deep breath into the hips. And press all the way back up top. Let's just take a deep breath in, stretch up nice and tall. Keeping that wide stance, we're just going to do a little forward fold here. Forward fold all the way down, top of the head reaching towards the floor. You can unlock your knees a little bit if that feels good. And we're just going to roll up. Ooh, and you stack up at the top, roll the shoulders a few times. We'll let everybody get there. Yes. Wow. Aaron's taking his time. That's good. One more time. Deep breath in, stretch up tall. Oh yes, sips of coffee are a great way to get your warm up really feeling really good. All the way down. Take a moment, wiggle it out a little bit down there. Take a deep breath, fill the belly, fill the hips. And then roll all the way back up. When you get to the top, stack everything up. Roll the shoulders. You can sort of heel toe your feet back in. All right, let's do this warm up as written. So we've got 6 B stance good mornings, and then we have 8 upright rows, which you can use a weight for, not really necessary here in our warm up. And then we have 10 air squats. So let's do the first round together. We're gonna do this 3 times total. So our B stance good morning, I'm trying to see how you can see my feet the best. Good thing I have sort of light soles, you can hopefully see. So if I'm just in like a hip width or maybe slightly wider stance, B stance is going to be taking 1 foot straight back so that my big toe lines up with my heel. From there, I can have my heel off the floor a little bit so that my weight is mostly in this forward foot. If I'm all the way back, heel down, and the weight is shared, it's going to be a little harder to do a good morning like that. So if that heel being up a little bit feels better, we're just trying to mostly load one side versus like a staggered stance squat where we would really be focused on having the weight in both of the heels of both feet. This time we can have that heel up a little bit. We're just going to do a good morning from here. So if you like your hands here, great. That back leg is probably going to bend a little bit more at the knee. So go ahead and just try that. Nice. Looking good. Looking good. Let's just go ahead and do 2 more on this side. Allow yourself to get a little bit deeper as you go through these. And then we'll switch sides. So coming back to your stance, we want to make sure that when we go to that B stance, we're not sort of accidentally getting onto the balance beam, but rather we're on the train tracks and we stay on the train tracks the whole time. So go ahead, nice and slow, 3 on the other side. We're just trying to gently and slowly expand that range of motion. So really glacially slow on the way down, working just a little bit into that stretch zone, and then squeeze, lift everything tall through the top of the head every single time on the other side. You guys probably each did like a dozen of those, so that's great. That's great, you're just going at it. Upright rows, so I'm gonna just grab both of my thumbs in a little hold like this. That's gonna give me something to pull against. If you had like a light dumbbell or a light kettlebell or something, great. We're just gonna bring the elbows high. I'm gonna sort of pull against my hands to activate my upper back. We're gonna do this 8 times, really tight through the middle of the body so that we stay nice and lengthened through the spine. It's up to you if you wanna grab a weight for these. We're trying to do this a little bit more strict. So elbows come high, wrists stay nice and neutral. We're definitely not trying to do a reverse T-Rex curl. Elbows high, wrist neutral for 8. And really you can activate your upper back pretty well with anything or even nothing in your hands. So great. 10 air squats. Let's take these nice and slow at first. Find a nice squat stance for yourself. Toes pointed as forwardish as you can get. If you need to turn them out a little bit, great. Nice and tight through the middle of the body. Stretch up tall through the top of your head. Squeeze your glutes at the top as well. Get everything lined up. And then we're going to try to really hold on to that position through the center of the body as we set the hips back, reaching for like a stool back there. Knees are going to press out slightly, balancing the weight, big toe, little toe, heel. So we want to keep that knee out in tension without going past sort of right in the middle of the foot. And then let's just ride that down nice and slow. Do not go too far for your first one and then squeeze on up. We're just going to do that 9 more times. So holding on to that bit of activation through the front of the body. We're definitely not trying to tip the hips forward and hyperextend through the low back. Take your time on the way down on each of these first 10 squats of the day. I mean, we've all probably done some variation of a squat already this morning, just picking stuff up or whatever we've done, getting ourselves out of bed. I don't know, maybe you're in a bunk bed. You just roll out. Top bunk. All right, so we're gonna do 2 more rounds of that. I'll let you do this on your own. I'll kind of do it with you. I'll give you some other ideas of things to do. 6, so it'd be 3 B stance good mornings on each side. 8 upright rows, weight or no weight, and 10 air squats. Adjust them really quick, go for it, and I will join you. If you want, for your good mornings, taking your hands out to a reverse fly kind of position, or even to an overhead, can sort of intensify the shoulder requirements of these movements. But again, nice and slow, trying to stay really nice and strong through the center of the body. Every single movement here. Nice, just about everyone's opted in on some sort of weight for that high pull, great. Elbows nice and high, beautiful. Wrist neutral. 8 of those and then 10 air squats. Take your time, make these squats feel nice and strong. Maybe spend a moment in that bottom position. Nice. Try a couple squats, a little bit wider stance. I'm gonna be doing some sumo squats later. So having something towards a little bit of a wider stance will help you get ready for that. Nice. Nice, Mart. Strong bottom position, looking good. Nice, Aaron, way to take your time. Warm up that squat. Yes. Nice, Nate, Nicole. It looked like you were holding hands there from my perspective for a moment. I was like, the family that good mornings together stays together. All right, one more round. Take your time on these good mornings. Nice, Kira. Strong depth there. Big pull apart on that high pull / upright row. Activating the upper back is kind of the goal. Nice, Jen. Nice full range of motion. Beautiful. Finishing strong. Those 10 squats. Again, try to work your feet out a little bit wider maybe as you go. Right. Probably all getting pretty close there. Do some casual butt kickers, roll your wrists a little bit. We're not going to hit the floor for a little bit here, but you can do something nice along those lines. Or if you notice any tightness or sort of defensiveness or weakness anywhere in the body, just a little extra movement and breath towards that can help. We're going to do 5 rounds of strength stuff. We're going to do 8 side lunges on each side. And we're going to go right into 10 sumo squats. So for your side lunge, we want a very wide stance, toes pointed forward as much as possible. Just going to help you find that stability as that knee travels out. So I like to imagine a little stool behind one heel that I'm reaching back for with my hip. So the stool would be like right about here. And then all the way up. I would probably have you do 8 on one side. Just leaving your feet where they are, down and up, 8 on one side. We can go ahead and try this together for the first round. Take your time. Go ahead.
Is the side lunge different than a Cossack squat?
Good question. I think oftentimes a Cossack squat, we're a little bit more upright. And we're definitely not like getting into this like this position. So we're trying to like hinge a little bit more. But they are functionally very similar. I think for the side lunge, we're coming up to the top every single time. Sometimes for a Cossack squat, you might like stay down here and do something more like this.
And you said your chest can be a little bit closer to the floor. It can, you're tipping over a little bit.
Yeah, we're getting a pretty strong hip hinge through this, ideally.
Thank you.
Especially because we're gonna add a weight to this if we want to. So we're sort of doing like a single leg deadlift in effect. So 8 on one side and then 8 on another. If your stance is a little narrow and you start to get a little bit deeper, here's where we get into that place where our weight can start to feel like it's getting over that foot and our knee sort of loses some of that stability. So just walking out, even another inch can really change the feeling of that. So now we've done 8 on one side, boom, 8 on the other, boom. Now we're gonna do 10 sumo squats. So we're just gonna imagine for this first round that we have a weight at our chest. So that was a huge hip hinge, chest going nearly parallel to the floor. Now we're doing that sumo squat. Hips barely go back at all, and then we're just going straight down. Oh, it hurts. This is my like embarrassment. Oh man, Marit, you are putting me to shame. Pretty much all of you are putting me to shame right now. Nice. So we want this fairly wide. We're doing 10 of these. This is as a mobility expert, I feel like my sumo squat depth should be better. It's something I work at. It's gotten better, actually. I think the one thing in this whole pandemic BS is that my sumo squat has gotten a little bit deeper. So, hashtag silver lining. I don't know. I don't even know if that counts as a silver lining. Can a turd have a silver lining? All right, that's it. So we're gonna do 4 more rounds. I know you guys, many of you will wanna just take this at your own pace. I'm gonna show the second round with weights, just to give you some ideas of how to add weight to that. But then it's 4 more rounds, 8 side lunges. If you wanna alternate those and just do 16 alternating, great. If it feels like you can do 8 on one side, 8 on the other, great. Into 10 sumo squats, ready, set, go. So adding weight to these for the side lunge can be a little bit difficult. If you have 2 dumbbells, that can be a nice way to kind of come around on each side. So that's an option. Otherwise, just holding a kettlebell, you're gonna want a wide enough stance that you can bring that thing just inside the foot. So if your stance isn't wide enough, it'll feel like you wanna bring that right through the knee. So just widen that stance a little bit. We're trying to bring that even down to the floor is great if you can. So hinging at the hips, lowering it to just inside the foot is a good option. For 8. Yeah, Marit, that bag is a little awkward. You might try a slightly wider stance, although it looks like your toes are turned out, Marit, so your knee coming out that way is probably still a pretty stable feeling, but you can try a slightly wider stance as well, but yeah, it depends how grippy your floor is. That looks great. So we are trying to get more or less eyes straight down. So this is a good finishing position for one of these. Back nearly parallel to the floor. Yeah, it can be differently awkward with different objects. Of course, you do not have to go that deep. Yes, supporting yourself on an object, if you could get to a counter or something, is a great option to sort of make these feel a little bit more stable. And then probably we're gonna look for something like a goblet hold for our sumo squats. Try to stay at that pretty wide position. Hips go back just slightly, but we are really holding on to that vertical spine, upright chest, and really trying not to dump the pelvis forward on these. Nice. If you want to speed these up a little bit, you can. In fact, you must to get us through all this in time. But still, I'm going to take my time on my way down because I don't hit like a hard stop. I just hit the pain gets more the deeper I get. So I want to take my time as I lower through that. Nice, everyone. Now we got 3 rounds of that left. I think it probably is going to feel pretty good to just stand up and let those hip stabilizers rest for just a beat between. If you wanted to give it like a full minute, you could. I'll go ahead and start this just So you have something to look at if you want to give yourself 30 seconds to a minute between those. If you have a really heavy weight, this is going to get very challenging. For most of us, we can kind of move through these pretty quickly into the next one. Whew. You may want to alternate which side of the side lunge you start on, just for, you know, balanciness. Nice, everybody looking good. Nice, Aaron, strong depth on that. Nice, Nicole, nice strong depth to that sumo squat. You're disappearing. That's a good sign on those. Nice, Marit. Nice, Jen. We are where we are with our bodies. Range of motion is not something we can just like do better on command. So I am on a journey, as are we all here. Nice. Getting into that penultimate round here when you are ready. Nice, everybody looking good. Good pace. Beautiful, guys. You got this. Nice, Kira. Way to take your time, get that depth on those squats. Nice. Good work, everybody. Ultimate round coming up here. Yes. Nice, Nate and Nicole. Way to take your time through these. I dare say the slower variation is the harder variation. Spending more time under tension here. Nice, Aaron. Way to get right back into it. Nice, Smart. Way to get right back into it. Come on, Jen. We got this. We got this. Last round. Nice, Marit. Good depth on those. Nice, Aaron. Nice strong movement, looking good. One thing about side lunges, they make your butt look good. Pretty sure fitness expertise tells me side lunges make your butt look good. During and after. Nice, everybody. Take your time on these final sumo squats. Woo. You're gonna want that heavy thing that you were just using, kind of somewhere around there when you're done. Nice, nice, Kira. Nice, Nicole. Nice, Nate. Beautiful, you guys. Finish strong. Everyone else, keep things moving. Do a little bit more of that wrist stuff if you want. Some foot warm up, alternating calf raises for your toes. And then together calf raises for ankles and calves. We got some jump rope substitution happening. Nice. Nice. All right, everybody. Well done. All right. We have an EMOM. It is 12 minutes of EMOM, every minute on the minute. First minute, we are going to be doing 40 seconds of deadlift to sprawl. So how that's going to work is you're going to have your object here, and you're going to reach down for it, do your deadlift, and then because we're alternating, it probably makes sense to take your hands out, stepping back to plank, stepping in, and then we're picking up with the other side. So if you were doing a bunch on one side, you could just do this where you keep one hand on there. But because we're alternating, it's a little awkward to like switch sides at the top, although you could. If it feels cooler to do your deadlift, switch down, deadlift, switch. I guess that wasn't so awkward. So you could do that either way. Getting a deadlift down to the floor is a lot of range of motion. So if in order to get that deadlift, you have to sort of round through the back, that's probably not a great idea to do that over and over again. Also, coming from this position and trying to find a spinal neutral down here is also a challenge. So this isn't our heaviest deadlift ever. The more you practice that, the better it will get for you. But you could have a step or something. You could have another weight that you put your weight on. You could have a stack of books to sort of modify that depth so you can pick that thing up, put it down. And then if getting out to that plank is not real feasible over and over and over, we can do like that crouch, tap back, tap back. That's a great alternative. Alternately, if you wanted to set your weight on something, so you're doing like a half deadlift or a deadlift from a block of some sort, you could do that sprawl from your object, stepping out or jumping out. All of these are great objects. These are great options. So, but otherwise, sprawl, just coming to a nice strong plank, deadlift, sprawl, deadlift. Practice that once or twice, just so you have an idea of your space requirements and what that's going to look like. Y'all mostly disappear when you go down for that. Nice, nice. Marit wins the Viewer Visibility Award, the Athlete Visibility Award for where you have your, yeah, I can't see your head most of the time, but I don't care about your head. I care about your feet and your hips and your knees and stuff, and your spine. That's what I care about. And then we're doing 40 seconds of jump rope or some jump rope alternative. So do this for right now. Just a little stretch through the ankle, through the toes. Get those babies warmed up. Keep doing that. I want you to put your big toes together next and do some calf raises. Do that. So big toes together just gives you some intention about what your feet are doing. So if your feet are sort of like this, your knees are going to be collapsing out into your arches are going to be collapsing. It's pretty hard to collapse your arch with your toes together. So that's a good way to then start on some jumps. So do some hops if you like. If you want to tap your sides for that jump rope timing, great. If you want to do your double taps, no, it's not just a video game thing. It is a thing that will help you sort of learn the timing for your double unders. So if you do have a rope and a ceiling that will accommodate it, great. You're great. Otherwise, the rest of us are just going to do like 40 seconds of that tapping. Tight through the body. We want to make sure we're really long and that we're mostly moving from like hip, ankle, knee are all sort of sharing that a little bit. We're not like getting real sloppy. And we're not like, I don't know, doing other weird things. Okay, we got to do this. You ready? 40 seconds alternating deadlift to sprawl, 20-second break, 40-second jump rope, 20-second break. Here we go. Starting in 10. Start slow. Feel free to grab a lightweight to begin and then do more as time passes. 2, 1. Here we go. However you want to handle that weight, into and out of the sprawl is up to you. Nice. I'm just taking a peek at how people are doing. We're going for the longest brace spine that we can. Mara just wrote that she has to sign off a little bit early. So we're going to lose Mara here in a little bit. 2, 1, break. Break. So if you want to say a sweet farewell to Mara sooner than later, go for it. 10 seconds here and then we hop. However you want to do that. I have the luxury of tall ceilings here. 2, 1, you can stick to those calf raises. Go. Oh yes, Kira's got a sweet setup. She's got some sort of ski erg situation going on. Nice. Big toes touching. If you can kind of work on that for your hops, that's a great way to get more stability from the low back down through the tippy toes. If it feels harder, it might be harder. Nice, everyone. 3, 2, 1, break. Woo. Nice. Deadlift to sprawl in 9. I thought I knew how I was going to do my hands and stuff. 2, 1. But then I ended up doing it differently. I actually kind of like that switch at the top. Feels cool. Ten seconds here. Keep it going. Nice. Nice, Marit. Good setup at the bottom there. Nice, Kira. Nice top. 2, 1. Woo. Nice. Yeah, I think a wider stance in that deadlift will help most of us kind of pick up from the floor. You're probably all already doing that. I can't exactly tell. Jumping. Jumping. 2, 1. Begin. Nice, everybody. Nice, solid upright position, looking good. Finish strong here. 5, 3, 2, 1. There it is. Oh, I'm looking forward to crushing you all in the Open 2023. Because I can work on my double unders and you can't. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Here we go. Alternating deadlift sprawl in 3, 2, 1. Nice, everybody. Good, sustainable pace. Really solid through the core. Squeeze that weight up off the floor. Nice, buddy. It's looking good. 3, 2, 1. Woo. Yes. Yes, Nate, Nicole, I like that starfish configuration where legs are coming out from the central hub. Good use of space. Hops. In 3, 2, 1. Get it. Almost there. Keep losing my earbuds. 2, 1. Nice. Hey, we're halfway. That's not so bad. We got this. We got this. All the way. 10 seconds here. 3, 2, 1. Halfway. Two, 1. Woo. Yes. If that's feeling weird, you could always do 20 seconds of alternating deadlift and then 20 seconds of sprawl as an alternative. That'd be a good way to mix that up too. 2, 1, hops. Nice, everybody. Looking good. If you are feeling strong and confident in these movements, this is a good time to push that edge a little bit. Two, 1. Woo. For anyone who does care about their double unders, getting those little ball string things going would probably be a lot of help in just keeping that wrist reflex strong when we do get back. 3, 2, 1. Heck, we probably even have some here that nobody's really using. You got this, buddies. Halfway. 3, 2, 1. Woo. Yes. Yes. Here we go. Jumping. 3, 2, 1. Almost there. Finish strong. Nice, Jen. 2, 1. Woo. Beautiful. Jen's got ceilings. It's nice. Get to work on that jump rope technique. Emerge stronger, like a phoenix from the ashes. Don't deadlift that cat. 3, 2, 1. I'm pretty sure cats, I don't know, I've never met a cat that likes to be deadlifted. Halfway. Seconds. Yeah. Nice, Aaron. Good moves, looking good. 2, 1, break. Woo, nice, everybody. Looking good. Holy cow, that's it. Last jumps. And we are out of here. Strong jumps all the way. Here we go. 2, 1, go. You got this. Finish strong. Halfway. Last 10. 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes. Yes. Oh, beautiful. Nicely done, everybody. Oh. All right. We are a bit over time today. That's all right. The mobility for today is standing straddle. So however you want to do that, I've already done a lot of this. So try to make this passive. If you wanted to do a seated straddle, you can. But from standing, getting into a forward fold and just allowing things to unlock a little bit. You can walk over to one foot, just stretch out through the side of the body. And then the other, another good one to round out today would be frog stretch. So getting down into this frog position and then just gently pushing back with the hips to turn that stretch on. Forward to relax, back on. Taking deep breaths into the hips, actually pressing the knees down into the floor, and then releasing will kind of help to get through some of the tightness that is kind of protecting your hips, which is sort of the goal of our stretching. All right, everybody, I have to sign off here to get started on the next class. I'll leave it up actually for a moment. You can say your farewells to each other.